Learn English. Alex remembered vividly the stifling silence that often filled his mind when he tried to speak English. A profound frustration would bubble up, a constant reminder of his perceived inadequacy. He admired those who effortlessly conversed, wishing desperately he possessed their linguistic grace. This feeling of being stuck truly weighed heavily on his aspirations for global connection and professional growth. For years, this cycle repeated, intense study of grammar rules and vocabulary lists, followed by an immediate paralysis when a speaking opportunity arose. He could read complex texts, comprehend intricate listening passages, yet his spoken output remained rudimentary, halting, and riddled with errors. This glaring discrepancy always bewildered and disheartened him deeply. He watched countless online tutorials, devoured articles about mastering fluency, but the practical application still eluded him. The idea of English talking practice seemed daunting, almost impossible to integrate into his already busy schedule. He wondered if some people were just naturally gifted, and he was simply not one of them, a discouraging thought. His turning point arrived unexpectedly during a late-night internet deep dive. He stumbled upon a testimonial from someone who described their English study plan for talking, and how it transformed their entire speaking journey. It wasn't a magic bullet, but rather a structured, consistent, and surprisingly simple approach to daily improvement. This study plan wasn't about cramming, it was about integrating English into his daily life in small, manageable doses. The core philosophy emphasized the critical importance of speaking, even if imperfectly, from day one. He felt a spark of hope ignite within him, a feeling he hadn't experienced in years regarding his English. The first revelation was understanding why you should practice speaking consistently, rather than just passively absorbing information. He realized that speaking wasn't merely about conveying thoughts, it was a muscle that needed constant exercise to develop strength and agility. His past approach had entirely neglected this crucial aspect. Alex had always focused on perfecting grammar before uttering a word, a common pitfall. The new philosophy suggested that fluency comes from frequent output, even if it means making numerous errors along the way. Errors, he learned, were not failures but invaluable signposts guiding him toward improvement and deeper understanding. He began by implementing the concept of how to think and speak in English, even when alone. This involved narrating his daily activities silently in English, describing objects around him, and formulating opinions on various topics within his mind. It felt awkward initially, like talking to himself, but he persisted. This internal monologue practice served as a powerful mental rehearsal, training his brain to access English vocabulary and sentence structures more quickly. It reduced the mental translation barrier, allowing thoughts to form directly in English, which was a significant breakthrough in his journey towards natural fluency. Slowly, thinking in English became less effortful and more automatic. He noticed that when a real conversation arose, the lag between thought and speech significantly decreased. This private practice built a foundation of confidence, preparing him for the next crucial step, external communication with others. The English study plan also strongly advocated for how to talk to people in pairs. Alex, an introvert by nature, initially dreaded this suggestion. The thought of finding a language partner and potentially embarrassing himself was profoundly intimidating and almost stopped him from continuing his progress. Yet, he remembered the very interesting story of others who had pushed past their discomfort. He decided to search online for language exchange partners, specifically looking for someone patient and understanding. He knew that a supportive environment would be crucial for his fragile confidence. He found Maya, a cheerful student from Canada learning his native language. Their first few video calls were tentative, filled with pauses and stumbles, but Maya's encouragement was unwavering. They established a routine of speaking English for half of their session, and his native language for the other half. Talking to Maya in pairs provided a safe space to experiment with new vocabulary and grammatical structures without the pressure of a public setting. He felt comfortable making mistakes, knowing Maya would gently correct him or simply understand the gist, fostering a truly productive learning environment. He also adopted the strategy of talk in English just one page per day. This meant selecting a random page from a book, an article, or even a news website, and attempting to summarize its content aloud in English for a few minutes. It was a concrete, achievable daily goal. This one page per day technique was surprisingly effective. It forced him to articulate thoughts, connect ideas, and use vocabulary he might not typically employ in casual conversation. It also provided a structured way to practice without needing a partner constantly, empowering independent study. Moreover, the study plan emphasized why reading is important for speaking improvement. Alex had always read extensively, but mostly for comprehension, not for active vocabulary acquisition for speaking. Now, he read with a new purpose, identifying useful phrases and common collocations. He started keeping a notebook specifically for phrases he encountered during reading that he wanted to incorporate into his active vocabulary. He would then try to use these phrases during his internal monologues or when talking with Maya, consciously embedding them into his memory. One of the most significant mindset shifts involved his perspective on errors. He had always been plagued by why I always make mistakes, viewing them as personal failures rather than stepping stones. This constant self-criticism had severely hindered his progress for many years. The study plan challenged this negative self-talk, encouraging him to embrace mistakes as essential feedback. Each error highlighted an area for improvement, a specific grammatical rule to review, or a vocabulary item to clarify. Mistakes became opportunities, not setbacks. He started celebrating his mistakes, ironically. When he mispronounced a word or used the wrong tense, he would make a mental note, sometimes even a physical one, and then immediately try to correct it or look it up. This active engagement accelerated his learning. His initial struggles with English talking practice gradually transformed into genuine enjoyment. He looked forward to his sessions with Maya and his solo one-page-per-day challenges. The fear of speaking slowly began to dissipate, replaced by a growing confidence. The cumulative effect of these consistent practices was remarkable. His vocabulary felt more accessible, his grammar became more intuitive, and his fluency noticeably improved. He was no longer just thinking about English, he was thinking in English with increasing ease. He started initiating conversations in English more frequently, both online and, cautiously, in real-life settings. Each successful interaction fueled his motivation further, proving that his systematic approach was indeed yielding tangible and rewarding results. The English study plan for talking wasn't a rigid curriculum but a flexible framework he adapted to his needs and schedule. It was about consistency, not intensity, about small, daily wins accumulating into significant long-term progress in his language journey. He understood now that the very interesting story of his transformation wasn't unique. It was the story of anyone who committed to persistent, smart practice. His journey was a testament to the power of dedicated effort and strategic learning techniques. Alex's journey underscored why you should practice speaking consistently, even when it feels uncomfortable. The discomfort was a sign of growth, pushing him out of his linguistic comfort zone into new territories of expression and understanding. He had learned that how to think and speak was the silent, foundational layer of fluent communication. It prepared his mind, built neural pathways, and made the transition to spoken words much smoother and more natural over time. The invaluable experience of how to talk to people in pairs provided the necessary feedback loop and real-world application that solo practice couldn't offer. It refined his listening skills and adaptability in dynamic conversations. The simple yet effective strategy of talk in English just 1 page per day became his non-negotiable daily habit. It was a low-pressure way to engage with the language actively, ensuring consistent exposure and output without feeling overwhelmed. Alex became a fervent advocate for why reading is important, not just for passive knowledge, but as an active tool for speaking. It enriched his vocabulary with context and provided models of natural English expression for him to emulate. And perhaps most importantly, he mastered the art of learning from why I always make mistakes. He now viewed errors as friends, each one revealing a specific area that required his focused attention and deliberate practice for improvement. His confidence soared. He no longer dreaded social gatherings where English might be spoken. Instead, he actively sought out opportunities to engage, to connect, to share his thoughts and ideas in his increasingly fluent second language. The transformation was not instantaneous, it was a gradual evolution, a testament to the power of compound learning. Each small daily effort, like a tiny drop of water, contributed to the vast ocean of his growing English proficiency. He realized that many people struggled just like he did, believing their mistakes were insurmountable barriers. He wanted to share his very interesting story, to inspire others who felt trapped by their linguistic anxieties. Alex started a small online community, sharing his specific strategies and encouraging others to adopt their own English study plan for talking. He emphasized patience and persistence above all else in their language journey. He explained how daily English talking practice didn't have to be perfect, it just had to be consistent. Even 5 minutes a day, he argued, was infinitely more effective than hours of study once a week. He taught his ments the art of how to think and speak silently, to build a robust internal monologue, preparing their minds for external communication before they even opened their mouths to speak. He stressed the importance of finding a reliable partner for how to talk to people in pairs, highlighting the benefits of reciprocal learning and shared accountability in the journey towards fluency. For those who struggled with daily commitment, he championed the "talk in English just one page per day" method as an easy, low-stress entry point into consistent speaking practice, making it less intimidating. He reiterated that why reading is important extended beyond comprehension. It was a goldmine for active vocabulary building and understanding natural language patterns crucial for confident speaking. And he passionately addressed the common fear of errors, guiding them through his own journey of realizing why I always make mistakes was actually a pathway to accelerated, targeted learning. Alex's life truly transformed. He landed his dream international job, where fluent English communication was essential. His ability to articulate complex ideas with clarity and confidence opened doors he once thought were forever closed. He often reflected on his past self, trapped by fear and self-doubt. The contrast was stark, a powerful reminder of how far he had come through dedication and a strategic approach to language acquisition. His journey was a living embodiment of the phrase, "practice makes perfect," but with a crucial addendum: smart practice makes progress, quickly. It wasn't about perfection, but continuous, incremental growth. He still encountered new vocabulary and occasional pronunciation challenges, but now he approached them with curiosity and determination, rather than the old feelings of despair and overwhelming frustration. The English study plan for talking was more than just a method, it was a philosophy. It taught him resilience, the value of small habits, and the profound impact of a positive mindset on learning. His very interesting story became a beacon of hope for countless others. He proved that fluency wasn't reserved for the naturally gifted, it was achievable for anyone willing to put in the consistent, smart effort. Alex now travels the world, confidently engaging in conversations, leading presentations, and forging new friendships, all thanks to the linguistic freedom he cultivated through his diligent practice. The fear of speaking English became a distant memory, replaced by the joy of connection and the thrill of expressing himself fully. His journey was a testament to the power of transformation through focused, daily effort. He often encouraged his students to embrace the messy reality of language learning, emphasizing that fluency is a journey, not a destination. Perfection is an illusion, consistent improvement is the real goal. His message was clear: start small, be consistent, and never underestimate the power of daily practice. Every word spoken, every sentence constructed, contributes to a stronger, more confident English voice. So, if you're struggling, remember Alex's path. Create your own English study plan for talking, commit to daily English talking practice, and you too can unlock your true speaking potential. His story is a powerful reminder that the biggest barrier to fluency is often psychological, not linguistic. Overcoming fear and embracing mistakes are just as vital as learning grammar rules. He concludes his talks by saying, "Your English journey is your very interesting story. Write it one confident sentence at a time, starting today, and watch your world expand."